All right, everybody, it's Badass Billy Gunn along here with
Bull James.
Bull James, former student of mine. Tell these people what they're watching.
You guys are watching Extreme Virtual Pro Wrestling on the YouTube.
On the YouTube, that's right. Hey, and of course, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it. Extreme.
What's good? It's your boy 4S, and here I got the Ryan Z.
Exactly.
Thank you for being part
Thank
of
you
my
for
show.
having you. Thank you for having you. I'm not having you. I would never have you.
Can we just be friends? I know you beat me, but no.
Wait till you get on Apex Legends.
Okay, so before we talk about our topics, when are you gonna get that title, man?
I don't know. I mean, chasing around like a rabbit after a carrot or something.
All right. Well, today's topic is our top 5 favorite finishers.
Okay, so before we delve into that, okay, what makes a finisher a finisher?
It has to be a finish.
I get that. I mean, hence keyword being finisher. But what makes a specific move a finisher? Like, what makes the leg drop, as something as simple as that, a finisher? Is it impact? Is it how it gets the crowd stirring? Is it a combination of both? Like, what makes a finisher a finisher?
I think the concept of it's a person's own original move that nobody else can do this except for this one specific person, and that's what makes the move wow, and yeah, only that person does it, and it kicks it for the 1, 2, 3 or the submission.
Okay, so when it comes to a finisher, what makes a good finisher? Seriously, what makes a good finisher? Is it high impact? Is it something from the top rope? Is it a combination of both? Is it, depending, it goes from wrestler to wrestler? I mean, these are questions you'd be asking me. Okay.
What makes a finisher a finisher? The Ryan Z.
It needs to be high impact. It needs to get the crowd nuts. It needs, you feel it coming.
I felt
your
Manila sunset. Shit. I felt your Manila sunrise, and nobody else does a more hardcore, hard impact lariat than you do, and I couldn't kick out. And
that's a wonderful segue into our top 5 finishers.
Still feeling that, by the way.
What?
Your Manila's.
That's all right.
Your sunrise.
Sorry, these big arms. See, big arms.
Stinks to you. I can't really wrestle for a while, but whatever. All right, what's your number 5? Let's start with you.
Start with number 5. You'll like this. You'll like this, and it's a fairly new move that I've never seen before.
New?
It's new-ish. Like, I've never seen anyone do it. Maybe because I'm not big into things that are outside NXT, WWE. I mean, I know a little bit of outside of that, but Baron Corbin's End of Days. I really like that. And look. I like that finisher. It's something you've never seen before. Not exactly has that surprise factor because as a big guy like that, you can see that coming.
It's a complete shot.
Yeah, it's the way it's I feel like it's synonymous with Baron Corbin because he's like 6'8", and you just see him line up and then he just hits that and face on the floor.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it, and it's actually one of the more contemporary ones on the list.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I've never seen that. Can you tell me another wrestler that's done that before? No, I can't. I like it.
I like when Chad Gable took that shit back in NXT. He did like a wrap around into rope, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's really. I remember the first time seeing it too in NXT. I was like, whoa.
It doesn't have as much as the like wow factor from like a huge crowd pop perspective, but from a high impact, it's really nice, and
it's a beautiful.
It suits his style of wrestling. It just suits. He's the big man.
It's a beautiful looking move too.
Yeah, it is a great looking move.
All right, my favorite finisher is my number 5 is actually a submission finisher. It's the last chancery / Muda lock. Yeah, Great Muda used to do it, and wow. I was not too big fond of submission finishers. Like I always see people get out of the figure 4, then people start getting out the ankle lock, and the next thing you know is the Walls of Jericho, and I'm like, these are moves that you're not really supposed to get out of, but they always find a way, and they just takes the oomph out of it. and simple like stuff like a sleeper hold or stuff like that. It's not that impressive. But then I saw stuff that looks like bridges into it, and I'm like, all right, that's really cool looking. One of them being the arm bar and whatnot, and that was really dope. But then I saw the Muda, and I'm like, that's a sleeper hold slash into a bridge, and I'm like, oh, that's beautiful
like
to
it
look.
hurts.
Yeah, I'm like, how can this person get out of that?
I mean, I guess it's that Japanese training, get your spine like contorted like that. I mean, it's just like that.
And the fact that I can put you here, then I'm gonna go into a bridge. That's the flow of getting your opponent locked in, then going to that bridging position. That's a beautiful thing to see. And the fact, I remember Asuka did it with her Asuka lock. I'm like, what's this? You see the typical Asuka lock, but then she did the bridge over. I'm like, okay, that's really hot. And that's a wow. I like that wow move,
I mean, it's a very old school looking move, honestly. I mean, the bridge really sets it apart these days. It's just like,
But then Charlotte does her figure eight, and I'm like, ew, I don't see the effect of the bridge. Like, that's so weird. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that figure eight that Charlotte does.
I think it's just to outline this. She's such a tall woman that she's able to hit that type of angle. I mean, Jesus. Like, you got to admire things like that.
Yeah. But yeah, Muda Lock, Last Chancery, pretty dope.
So it's my number 4.
Yes.
Oddly enough, I chose a submission as well.
Ooh.
I chose a submission as well, and obviously, a lot of you will agree with this. The 2 people that are going to watch this, the Crippler Crossface.
The Crippler Crossface. But we not mention who.
I mean, you can name it. I don't work for any company. So Chris Benoit popularized the Crippler Crossface. I enjoyed that because number one, it legitimately looked like it hurts.
What does it hurt, by the way? Here or here?
I think it's a combination. I mean, we could give it a try. I mean, because you're doing this and then you're just pushing back, and so it's a whole thing, like neck, spine, like all that stuff. Why are you sweating? We're not even doing anything.
It's your presence, Z Ryan Z.
It's one of those finishers that, again, not really loud in terms of pop, but when it does, it can get the pop. But there's a surprise factor. It's a counter move that you can use to get into that. It's just amazing. And Chris Benoit was always good with that, especially when anyone's coming with a clothesline and he just flashes them over and just pulls. And the absolute intensity, and this is why I feel like no one else, not that I've ever seen that could do the move, just doesn't capture that intensity on someone's face like Chris Benoit. I mean, Jesus, he's just freaking grinding. He's like a little tank, and he's just
the fact that he's yay short, but able to take people down like Triple H. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, apparently he's Rey Mysterio's height. Since you were assumed that he's 5'11" or something in one fucking universe. Chris Benoit is 5'11", so that means he's the same height as Rey Mysterio apparently. But it's cool. It's cool. And when he did at WrestleMania the Triple H to win the title, that was pretty nuts. Granted, I felt like the move was held for too long, but that's for drama's sake. It's the will he or won't he tap. But seriously, it's amazing.
Is it the same effect of almost to the STF?
Well, the STF has that extra thing with the leg, and I'm like, I feel like, okay, so Cena does it. Who else does it? I mean, of course, I think of Cena of all people to think to do the STF, but he does it. He looks like he's a very blocky man.
Yeah.
And not to say that he doesn't do it well, but I'm just lacks the real finesse of what a Crippler Crossface can do because it just does away with the leg movement. So,
yeah.
Not a big fan of the STF.
Yeah, I like the Crossface more.
Yeah, I like the Crossface.
Number 4 is
number 3.
Well, my number 4.
Oh, you're number 4.
Yeah, because
all right.
First.
Okay, yeah.
Come on,
sorry.
Ryan Z, step up, man.
Sorry.
Number 4, the cutter. It can be any type of cutter. There's the RKO, Twist of Fate, cutter, the diamond cutter.
The originator.
The originator diamond cutter. So, yeah, I like cutters. Really, really effective. Bubble cutter's really cool, too. So 3D, a flapjack into a cutter. But I like it. I like the idea. I don't know how effective it is. I don't know. Am I supposed to implant you on your face or hit you with my shoulder? That's blocked.
I don't know. Ask Kofi.
Yeah.
Ask Kofi. He landed on his fucking forehead.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You saw RVD's the way he stole that cutter. RVD. Oof.
I think No, I like the cutter. I like
It's a beautiful looking move. The way Randy Orton does it is
it's a work of
finesse.
art. It's a work of art. I think he steps up the game.
He will jump and pull you down and land on his back while DDP just stands up and does it to you.
Well, I think we give Randy Orton a lot of kudos for how he makes it look like a work of art when he hits his RKO, whether it's a counter, mostly a counter. We love it. He hits it off of what's his name, Evan Bourne.
Yeah,
off his
the idea of hitting it out of nowhere
on a shooting star press. So that's friggin' nuts. Mm-hmm. How he hits it on Seth Rollins, which I don't know if many people know this. They were practicing that spot for weeks, and the first and only time they were successful at doing it was at WrestleMania. That's crazy. Which is nuts. Yeah. Which is absolutely nuts. But I get it. Like, Jesus, the amount of pop that move gets. Like, okay, the only other pop that I've heard when it comes to cutter was it Halloween Havoc? Goldberg versus DDP, where DDP counters the jackhammer and that for the crowd went nuts. Went absolutely nuts. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what really makes the finisher. I think the crowd, the way the crowd reacts to it makes the finisher. Yeah. So I didn't want to take that, but I saw it on your list. So.
I like it. All right. Who's yours?
Was it number 4? Oh, number 3, right?
Number 3 now, yep.
We're in number 3. Number 3 is, okay, my personal fave, the clothesline from hell. All right?
No sunset.
Or any type of clothesline, okay? you think of, like, JBL as, like, freaking high impact, just coming in, like, big Texas body just comes in. But I think of freaking Stan the Man Lariat. Holy crap.
I never seen Stan the Man Lariat.
You should watch. There's, like, videos on him on YouTube, and, like, he was a god in Japan. He knocked out Vader's eye.
So he really hit people with that clothesline.
He was super stiff. I forget who the wrestler was. But there was a bit, like, back in the day, they were, like, when it came to storylines, they were just doing, like, real freaking, like, I hurt you bad, and then you come back and get me. So Stan Man Lariat had, like, a freaking, like, I forget who the other wrestler was. I have to look that up. But he broke the guy's neck. So he breaks the guy's neck with his lariat. What he would do is he took his elbow pad and he stuffed it with nickels and hits the lariat off of that and breaks his neck.
Why?
So that was storylines back in the day, but still, like, you watch Stan the Man Lariat, it's a big lumbering, like, I don't want to say fat because he's not fat. Like, he's husky, like Husky Harris like type body, but taller. Yeah. And he hits it, and he just hits it, right? He'll hit anybody. If you watch the highlight video, there's one where the guy, he blocks the one, and he comes back with the other arm and he tags him. And then you fast forward it, not too many wrestlers, because the clothesline is like an appetizer in a match.
Yeah.
Like, you're hitting clothesline. But, guys like JBL, when he used that, his finisher, where you just see him hit the ropes and just wham, like a Mack truck. Yeah. Wow.
That's really impressive. I remember, like, seeing JBL do it. Really impressive. Like, because there's a time where you never seen wrestlers like that do their finishers.
He's one of the most underwhelming wrestlers I've ever seen in the history of wrestling, and anyone from Texas. Is he from Texas?
I hope so.
I hope he's from Texas. I don't look like a fool if I don't know where he's from. But he is underwhelming for the most part until he hits those ropes and BAM! Clothesline from hell. And the guy ends up in hell. Like, I can't imagine. Like, I'd love to hear shoots about, like, what it's like to take the clothesline from hell.
True. Yeah. Oof. Stiff. You just have to take it. The person eating, okay, I'll take it. Ugh. All right, my number 3 is a high flying move, and it's not a moonsault, it's not a 450. It's just a simple flipping senton. That's the Swanton Bomb. I remember seeing that for the very first time, and I'm just like, what was that? And I'm just like, that looks cool. And yeah, man, Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb, magnifique. I don't like it where he does it off ladders, but I can't blame a guy jumping 16 feet in the air and doing a swanton. Like,
holding that position.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Big respect to him. But every time I see him hit off the turnbuckle and the way his head looks down, then he accepts his fate after that. Okay, it's a really dope looking move. I mean, I think a person can really kick out of it after 1, 2, it looks like an easy move to kick out of, but taking a twist of fate into the Swanton, all right, it makes sense.
You ever seen what the Senton bomb looks like?
Yeah,
Senton, like it's something that like fucking like huge wrestlers should do, where they would just flapjack, like they would backwards flapjack on their like they. What he did, it's
Joe's Senton is beautiful. I like Joe's Senton.
I mean, he has a running momentum, but that's a senton. Like, but when you think about something, again, it goes back to how Randy Orton and Work of Art, when it comes to RKO, what Jeff Hardy does at the top rope, no matter if it's at the turnbuckle, off, a ladder, off like some sort of platform, it's absolutely gorgeous. The way he holds it, even at his age now, he still has the ability just to get that. What hurts it a lot today is that when I was growing up watching wrestling and growing up watching live events, what I enjoyed with and it goes ahead to, I want to bury a lead here going to number one, but when you see like at WrestleMania when he hits the Swanton and all those flashlights, the bulbs blowing up, it's just like, it's amazing. It adds to an effect. And it's one of those moves where it's just like, it doesn't look like it does much, but man, it is beautiful to watch.
The only time I see him hit it really beautifully off someplace really high was against the Dudleys in their first tables match with him and the Dudleys. No Mercy? Was it No Mercy?
I believe so.
Yeah, he hits.
I mean, you have the network.
He hits it off the balcony into Bubba on the table, and the way his body, like his legs went whoop, and I'm like, okay, that's really dope. It's a beautiful looking move, but I think that's why it's in my top 5, not because of the impact, but because how beautiful it looks. So, Swanton Bomb, my number 3. All right,
number 2.
Wow,
I like how you're segueing into my number 2, which oddly enough is a high flying move. Also, it's a
moonsault.
No, not a moonsault. I mean, no, it's the frog splash.
Oh. Yeah.
It's the frog, of course. Yeah, of course.
It depends. Guerrero's frog splash.
All of them. Like you can sit there and say Cutter and do all of them. Can I sit there and say?
I mean, there's a difference between the frog splash and the nice, beautiful 5-star frog splash.
There's the 5-star frog splash. There's High Fly Flow, which is basically the 5-star frog splash. There's D'Lo Brown's Lowdown, where he just does that. That's a frog splash too.
Hey guys.
I mean, let me ask you a question. How many programs in wrestling did you ever see revolved around a friggin' finisher? How many can you think from the top of your head? Like, we didn't see Orton and DDP get into it over the Cutter, but freaking Eddie Guerrero and Rob Van Dam did it for like freaking frog splash supremacy. Who had the best? Like Eddie Guerrero's frog splash, very old school.
Very old school.
Just like, I'm gonna pump and then I'm gonna just dump on you.
RVD has that nice height into he can turn it.
Yeah. He does it. Like, again, it's the thing, but it's not just one wrestler who does it. And then you look at D'Lo, where he's just like, it's that. I don't want to like think, but it's like that urban thing where he's just like, and then suck it, and then just like. And he did it with the chest pad. But I always like that move. It's a very simple move. I just think, like, in the... what's the word here I'm looking for? It differs from personal. I like Eddie Guerrero's. All right. Would I say it's the best? I mean...
This is a good looking one.
It's a good looking one. He broke his friggin' arm with that.
What?
Yeah. You remember when he first debuted with... Malenko and Saturn.
Oh yeah.
He hits the thing, and then you saw it where his forearm just like smashed in. It was friggin' gross, but not to say that was his fault. But like, I always enjoyed it when he hits it off of Lesnar at No Way Out. That was really cool.
It kind of touches me.
I think it always touches anyone. Yeah. It touches anyone just because of the lead up, and then eventually what happened. And then you look at Rob Van Dam's 5-star frog splash. The guy's a fucking athletic freak.
I love him.
And he's a stoner, so I love him even more. So, you wonder, I wonder, his ability, like, his level of stoneness affects his ability to pull that move. Like, does he do it higher?
Sure.
Can he hold it longer in the air? Like, the way he contorts his body.
He probably comes up with different ideas, too.
Yeah.
It's like, how will I hit this move? Should I turn with it?
And then Tanahashi, he does it. He does it. I mean, it's fairly like basic. It's not.
Leo Rush is a really good 5-star. Good looking 5-star.
Leo Rush is like freaking. Isn't he like 20 pounds soaking wet? Like I feel like if he jumps in the air, he's gonna get stuck up there. Like, he's like a cat or something.
Yeah. I would like to see a big dude do a 5-star Splash. Just to see
I'm sure they have. They're in the Indies, and they probably never like lived to tell the tale
like
again.
seeing Keith Lee do a 5-star.
You know what? I'd like to see him do it. I'm sure he can do it. He can do a lot of things.
I mean, if you see this guy from Sanity do a Van Daminator or Van Terminator,
the drop kick.
The drop kick.
Yeah, Van
Coast to
Terminator.
coast. Man.
Oh, freaking! What's his name?
That's his name.
I forget his name too.
It's
not Wolfgang, right?
No, I don't know. That's how these guys they don't get airtime, so we forget about them. Good job, WWE.
Well, I know Alexander Wolf, right? Oh, I got it wrong. Wolf. Alexander Wolf is the tall German dude, I think. Yeah. And then, of course, Eric Young is Eric Young. Mm-hmm. All right.
Number two
is
a simple move, but all right. So I guess I'll give respect where it came. Jake the Snake.
You better should give him fucking respect.
The DDT, I love that move, and the fact that it was just a finisher. But then I knew that he was the creator of it, but I never seen him hit it. I never watched too much of Golden Era, and when I forget about Golden Era. But I remember watching ECW, and I saw this guy did it, and his name is Raven, and he did it.
Johnny fucking Polo.
He does the even flow DDT, and yeah,
what an asshole.
I love the way he does it. I guess there's that edginess to it. I mean, just all right. So every time I see Raven, though his finisher is always with his leather jacket on. So, yeah. But all the times he's fought Tommy Dreamer, and he always hits that move with such oomph and passion and edginess to it. Yeah, I like the way it looks. It's a really cool move. Just dropping in your head. I'm gonna implant you in your head.
I've seen many iterations. Yeah, I do like it. He has like a more plant. Like, just flop back to it. As opposed to Gangrel, who has the Impaler. Edge, who uses, like, who does... It's not really an Impaler as much, because, when Gangrel did it, he lifted you up and, like, planted you.
Yeah.
And then Edge was a little bit more, like, I'm going to lift you up, but I'm going to swing you to the side and then plant you, so that was...
And there's Bobby Roode, who does the just plants.
Oh, yeah, who plants.
But Edge does this thing where he'll plant you, but you'll land between his legs.
And then you have the double arm.
Yeah.
You have the double arm DDT. Double arm DDT.
The butterfly DDT. Cactus Jack. Right? Dirty Deeds.
Dirty Deeds.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the tip.
It's a move that stood the test of time.
Yeah. But the even flow DDT, really good looking move, man. It's funny how these old school type moves just like used to be. Like,
there's only so many things you can do to the human body where it doesn't like repeat. That's why I appreciate moves like. Yeah. But I feel like not everyone can do an end of days. But not everybody can do it. But it's good to see that a big man's not doing a fucking choke slam. Okay. Or a power bomb.
Yeah.
Or a bear hug. Or a fucking massive chop, you know. So kudos to Baron Corbin for doing that. I don't know if he created the move or he saw it somewhere and just said, I'm going to do it this way.
Maybe he just saw the complete shot and be like, Noah, can you just turn your legs and bow? I'm like, yeah, sure.
It's cool, obviously enough. It's not like not only is it cool with the impact, but also when people counter it. Like, it just hits it and just like.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's your number two?
I have number two. I'm number one.
Oh yeah, what's your number one?
My number one.
Yeah.
Come on, that's easy. The friggin' Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah.
Literally the epiphany, the epitome of like what a finisher should be. It's seemingly high impact. It stirs the crowd. Like so the first time I've ever saw Stone Cold hit the Stunner live was at Madison Square Garden, Monday Night Raw, when he first does it to Vince McMahon. And the way
he didn't sell it?
It's not that he didn't sell it, he just didn't like
5, 4, 3, 2. Alright, what's your number one?
So my number one is the epitome of like what a finisher should be, is the Stone Cold Stunner, popularized by Stone Cold Steve Austin, who everybody holds in high regard, from attitude to just overall like ability in the ring and just like overall badassness. But there's something about the Stone Cold Stunner when he hits it, you automatic, like for me growing up, when I saw it live, he hit it on Vince McMahon for the first time at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, it was dog shit. But when you saw the light bulbs flashing, holy crap, that is the coolest thing. And
so that was wow. You went to that?
I went to that one.
That's a story.
Yeah, I went to that one, and he hits it, and then he flops like he's stiff. The most stiffest, like he took it so stiff, but like. When you saw him use it, because like when Stone Cold first started out in WWE, he didn't have the Stone Cold Stunner. He had the $1 Million Dream as his finisher. And then when he hits it, like he basically just grabbed your neck and just like sat down, and it looked like it hurt. Like it looked like it hurt. He did it on Jake the Snake. It looked like it hurt. But then as you know, he became the guy, more popular. The way he hits it out of nowhere. He spreads his legs. He swings around. It's just like. When you see, that's what you go to see. With like you're waiting for it.
I wish I was there where he hit it against like the whole entire WWE roster in the Invasion.
Oh yeah. When
that must have been a thing to see, hitting like 20 people with
again.
sliders.
Like, and apparently it's not an easy move. Like it looks really easy.
Yeah,
like I did it growing up. Like I tried it. Do you know how many times I've landed on my hip? Like. It comes down, and you know what? Kudos like to Stone Cold using the move. I think kudos to guys who sell the move. Like, okay, obviously there you have The Rock, but anyone like, just the way they take it, like the way they sway to the side, Rock flips. Booker T does this thing where he like, fucking flops. It's a cool move, and it's probably it came from a guy who, oddly enough, I mean not oddly enough, unsurprisingly enough, is that. Cool dude that everybody wanted to be, and I think he was probably the most imitated wrestler. At least when I was growing up and going to grammar school, he was the most imitated person. Like people who knew, because he was like he transcended the ring. He was essentially pop culture. He was everything that somebody wanted to be.
Anti-corporation,
anti-everything. Honestly, he was all for himself. It's cool. It's the anti-hero, and I think that's one element that really got I feel like added to the spice of the Stone Cold Stunner. So I in my heart, in my mind, that's number one in my book, because you watch it live once and then you watch it how he hits it in any. I mean, it's not exactly as poetic as the Cutter, but man, he can hit it from anywhere too. You know?
I remember the first time I saw Stone Cold Stunner was during that, but then I remember seeing a guy from ECW. Mikey Whipwreck with that, and he called it the Whippersnapper. Yeah, he does it similar to Stone Cold style, because not many people can do a stunner, but it looked almost similar. But yeah, Stone Cold.
Mikey likes it. He really likes it.
I think it's the Stone Cold kick that does it with the middle finger.
Setup.
It's literally the setup.
It's the setup, especially when like. You know, not in the very lead here, but when Shawn Michaels goes to lead up with the Sweet Chin music at I forget which WrestleMania that is, and Stone Cold swings it around and just hits it like it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. It's one of the original like out of nowhere finishers.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And speaking of Shawn Michaels and out of nowhere finishers. My number one is the Sweet Chin music.
Which honestly, I'm not surprised that's your number one. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the number one. It's the most used move in the history of used moves.
Especially in the indie wrestling.
In the current day and age, because it's like a move that anyone can do. I mean, heavily imitated, rarely duplicated in the sense of the amount of impact. I thought Shawn Michaels was the best at it. I still think. I mean, you know what?
I think he is. I think he's still.
I mean, his was a little bit more stiff compared to what you see these days, where like.
I think I like the fact that the tune-up. If he can hit the tune-up and connect with it, it's a Sweet Chin music.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Where he sits up from the corner and he hits the 3 taps.
I remember seeing that and I'm like, what is he doing? And I was like, holy shit! And you know why I like it? You want? There's a personal reason why I like it, because you had all these big guys doing slams. I'm just like, come on, I want like somebody who I can almost relate to the stature. You know,
I mean, anyone could do a super kick.
Yeah,
honestly, anybody could do it.
Anybody could do it.
Anybody could do it. It's you could be like freaking 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall, 10 feet tall. Like you can do it.
But I remember seeing it and I was like, holy crap, I can relate to this guy, because I did not like, because you had Bret Hart, and like, okay, I'm not a fan of the sharpshooter. Then you had all these big guys with choke stands and whatnot, but this guy is beating you with a kick. And the super kick, and I'm like, that's really dope.
I remember.
I like that. I like that guy.
I remember one of my favorite promos from Shawn Michaels was at Survivor Series, going against Psycho Sid, and he sat there and he said, I forget the lead up into thing, but he goes, you're sporting a chin that I can hit from anywhere in New York City, and I'm just like.
That's great.
That was the second best promo of the night. The best promo always will have to be Stone Cold's promo on Bret Hart. That's for a later time. Like, we could always do a top 5 promos.
Oh yeah, we can most definitely do that soon. Later.
That's my thing. But that when he sat there and he said that to Psycho Sid, I'm just like, you know what? I appreciate it. And you're right. Back in the day, like in mid '90s, it's just guys are like into body slamming. They're into like, and then there were more technical wrestling. And then what this guy did was like some sort of like karate kick.
Yeah.
Who would have thought a karate kick did anything? And I'm just like, well, you know what? It rocks. It's still like the DDT. It's still around. Obviously not as much of a finisher as it was back in the day, but
yeah,
it's still there.
It's still there. And I think there is a difference between a super kick and a switching music. Switching music is, well, I will finish you. Super kick is just, hey, it's a hard impact move.
It's like a counter or it's like a setup, but more so switching music is like the finality.
Yeah. All right, that's our top 5. D. Ryan Z, thank you for coming down to my show. Hope you get that title.
I will. It's not hoping. It's when.
Oh, okay.
It's when.
Whenever this guy shows up. But yeah, later guys. 4 Eyes out.
Hello everybody, this is Ricochet.
And Tessa Blanchard.
And you are watching Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. I think I got that right.
Xtreme.